Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I like to contour and highlight my nose. I'm going to be showing you kind of some of my favorite products and things that I recommend and brushes and tips and tricks and just kind of everything about it. So if you're interested in seeing how I get my nose contour, then please just keep watching. Thanks! Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about when contouring your nose is the type of powder that you want to use. My favorite one in the world comes... Whoa! My favorite one in the world comes from the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and it's this lightest of the dark colors right here, and it's like a really taupey gray undertone type brown. And when you're contouring, you want to go for more of those cool tone kind of neutral browns versus like really warm bronzing type browns, especially on your nose, because that's where it's really going to be important that it looks natural. So that one's my absolute favorite, but one that I've been trying recently that I really liked, I actually picked this up at TJ Maxx. It's this Ellen Tracy, it's called Soleil Bronzer, and it goes from a kind of darker all the way up to a lighter brown, and I love it because I can decide, you know, it's like I can do my full contour with that, I can do my nose contour with this lighter, kind of more neutral brown, and just like got everything in between, or you can just kind of sweep them all together, and they're a really pretty bronzer. So I've really been enjoying that. That's really affordable as well. Another one that's not too bad is comes from the e.l.f. Contour Palette. It's this darker one right here. That one's a pretty neutral, kind of cool tone brown as well. So any kind of, you know, that neutral cool tone brown type of a powder will work. A lot of times you can find those in eyeshadows, and another really great place to find them is actually in eyebrow products. So like the eyebrow powders, a lot of times they are really kind of cool tone neutral type browns versus a really warm brown. So that's some options for powders. My absolute favorite brush is this one right here. I actually got this at a craft store. Looks like this, and the difference between this one and the NARS Ita brush is this one is quite a bit smaller and more dense. So this is the NARS Ita brush, this is the other brush. So this type of shape brush, really they're getting a lot easier to find now. At first, when they were first coming out, it was kind of hard to find, but now lots of different brush sets have them. You can find them online, on Amazon, a lot of places like that. If you don't have one of these, just use a smaller eyeshadow brush, just kind of something that you can get like small and precise lines with. So either small so you can get, you know, precise, or something like actually with a straight line like this. This is my favorite. I love using this. Okay, so let's jump right into contouring. So how I like to do it, and I guess before I actually start, I'll just kind of show you. For a long time, I thought that you followed the actual like darkness of your nose. So if you can see on mine would be like along there. I thought you just kind of put the darkness right there, but really the whole point of contouring is to like slim down and slenderize your nose a little bit. And so if you're just following the exact same thing, it's not going to do anything for you. So you actually have to like scoot it in a little bit, and you have to cheat it inward. So instead of following that darkness, I would come in a little bit more, and same thing with that side. That's kind of what I'm going to be doing. So just kind of keep that in mind, that you are going to need to not just follow your exact natural thing, or it's not going to do anything. In fact, if you do darken up like the outsides of your nose, it can really have the complete opposite effect. It can really make your nose look a lot wider. Just a fair warning, like your first call for me, it was like my first 6 months of trying to contour my nose. It looked terrible. It looked terrible. I hated it. And it was like I kept trying because I knew I wanted to learn it, and I knew it made a huge difference. And so really it's one of those things you got to just kind of keep at and work with, and it can be frustrating, and it takes a lot of practice to learn like on your specific nose how you like to contour and that kind of thing. So just keep that in mind. But for my specific nose, I like to mostly focus on just slenderizing it. It's kind of wide, and so I like to really just scooch it in. I don't have a problem as much with like the bottom part of it, other than, you know, I kind of want the entire thing slenderized. I don't, like some people have it point down a lot, if that makes sense. Like the front of their nose kind of comes down, which if you look like from my side profile, it doesn't really like turn down. It kind of just ends where it like that. So if it did that, then a lot of times people will darken the ends of their nose, and then it looks like more button nose. So there's a lot of different things that you can do, but since mine kind of already ends where I want it to, I don't worry that much about the bottom. Okay, so I'm gonna go into the Shade and Light palette, and I'm gonna put on like on one side of the brush, I'm going to just go like this and kind of get some in there. And you don't want to go into too much, so kind of tap off the extra. And then what I like to do is I like to basically just lay it right where I want it to be, and then kind of just like wiggle it up and down a little bit. And I'm going to kind of exaggerate it on this video just so that you guys can really kind of see what I'm doing. Okay, so I just start off with a line, basically like that. And then before I like blend it or do anything, I'll zoom in a little bit. And then before I do like blend it, I do the same thing on the other side, so I kind of even them up. I get them really close, so the two lines are going to be really pretty close together, and kind of do that same thing. And do you see how close those lines are together? So like that's not at all the natural darkness where my nose was, and that's how you want it to be. But I mean, before I even blend it, obviously I'm going to blend it, but just before I even, do you see how already that kind of just makes the eyes like slenderize the nose? Okay, so then with nothing on the brush, I kind of just like wipe off the excess. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to blend out. And I'm going to blend it down and I'm going to blend it up into my eyebrow area. And I kind of like flick it so that, oh sorry. Another thing you want it to do is you want it to follow like that natural kind of shadow and connect a little bit, and that's going to really help it make it look natural. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Again, there's just nothing on this brush right now, and I'm just going to kind of drag it into my eyebrow area. If you have a problem with the bottom of your nose, don't bring it all the way down. Bring it to like right there-ish, but I kind of want to slenderize the entire thing, so that's why I bring it all the way down. And then when there's like really, really nothing on the brush, I'm going to blend it out just the teeniest bit. Okay, so I'm to this point right now, and then I take my middle finger, sorry I'm kind of giving you the bird, and then I just, I kind of blend out the insides, just using my finger, and I just kind of go like that. Okay, so then I take my powder brush, just the one I've been using, and I always blend inwards. I never blend it down, because if you blend that darkness down, it's going to have the opposite effect, and it's going to make your nose look wider and broader. So if that's what you're going for, then do that, but I don't know many people that want to necessarily make their nose like more broad. Okay, so then just kind of give it a little blend with your brush. So again, if you wanted to give it more of like that button shape, what you would do, and I'll just kind of show you, is you could get a little bit more powder on your brush and just highlight like right that kind of bottom portion of it. Kind of like if you were to stick your nose on a dirty window, right where you would get dirty, that's where you would kind of put that darker color. And then another important step too is when you're doing your concealer, you want to bring your concealer like all the way up the side of your nose, so that it almost like meets up with that dark contour area, and that's really going to kind of slenderize your nose also. So this is my little concealer brush, and I'll just kind of show you what I mean. Okay, another fun little trick that I like to do is to give it more of like that shape. I like to do a teeny bit of darkness like right where it would crease. And then again, just kind of go back and blend everything. And just use a really light hand, especially while you're learning. Okay, and then just as important as contouring the noses is highlighting. So once you get all of your contour done, I always like to start with my contour and end with my highlight, so that I'm ending with a light product versus a dark product. But you want to get it doesn't have to be shimmery. I really like the look of something shimmery. My very favorite comes from the MAC Cinderella palette, this light shimmery pinky color. Or you can just get kind of a lighter shadow and then get a really small little brush, get a little bit of that eyeshadow or whatever you're using, a highlighter. And now the places I like to highlight is I always highlight my inner corners of my eyes, so I kind of like to match that and highlight right in between my nose right here. And I might have even done it a little bit too wide, just like a really nice little line. And then I kind of drag it in between the two dark spots, those two darker lines on your nose. And I only do like just that little teeny bit right there. Some people kind of do it the whole way. It's kind of personal preference. And then I also like to do it right on the tip of my, and not the very tip. If you look at it, the very tip of my nose is like right here. I bring it up to like right there, so just a little bit above the very tip of your nose. Okay, and then I blend it out with my finger. When you're working with your nose, your finger is really great for blending. And then I kind of just finish off blending one more time. And I try not to just like go crazy. I try to just kind of more dab a little bit of like whatever powder is left over on my brush. Just kind of do that with it. Okay, that's how I like to contour and highlight my nose. I think it just kind of slims it in a little bit, and it really just kind of evens out the face too, because I do a lot of like highlighting and contouring along my cheeks, my eyes. I mean, everywhere else has like that brightness and contrast, and so it just kind of matches the rest of the face, giving it that brightness and that contrast. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I would love to hear your feedback, and if you guys like to contour your nose, what tips and tricks you like to use, because it's definitely something I'm always still trying to improve and work on, and it's not something that's just like a quick, easy, natural thing. It still takes kind of some effort and some work, so I'd love to hear your tips and tricks. And again, thank you for watching. I'll catch you in my next video. Bye!